Right, we're setting off to Hadrian's Wall. Welcome to another episode of Bushcraft Dave. Out on a massive walk. Alexi's joining me, freshly married. I've dragged him off his honeymoon, much to his new wife's disappointment. Or maybe she's pleased to sit back here already, I don't know.
Yeah, she's got a nice week at home.
But we're off, we're in Newcastle, or locally Newcastle. So I'm originally from around these ways, and so I apologise if over the course of the next few videos as we're hiking Hadrian's Wall, if my original accent starts to re-emerge and my original Geordie starts to appear. We're in Newcastle, we are in Wallsend, where the wall ends at what is either the start point or the end point of the Hadrian's Wall walk. For us, we're starting it, 84-mile adventure all the way across the country from Wallsend in Newcastle, finishing in Bowness on Solway. It's going to take us 7 days. It is gloriously sunny right now. I might take my raincoat off. We're expecting rain at some point, so the first couple of days of our hike could easily be wet and sodden. But thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy our little adventure. Let's go and walk this wall.
Myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs.
So we're making good progress along the River Tyne. We're about an hour in now, something like that. I think we're near enough, a quarter of the way along today's journey, we're making really good progress actually. But the weather did just turn us a minute ago, and we're sort of belts and braces, waterproofs and everything, but actually it's just really warm again now, isn't it? So this bit of the walk along the riverfront isn't actually where the wall is at all. The wall is much further to our right. But it doesn't really exist too much anymore. There's sections of it apparently that are near some of the main roads and things like that. But in order to make the route a little bit more scenic, I think, and to keep you away from the main roads, the route that they want us to walk along is along the river, and it's very nice indeed. We get salty sea air, seaweed, seagulls. It's all lovely stuff. But yeah, we're making good progress.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again.
Well, the rain's hit us. We are tired, too warm, feet are killing already. We're over halfway. We reckon we're probably about 8 or 9 miles into our 15-mile day. We're trying to head to a town called Newburn, where we're hoping we can stop and get some food. However, on our travels, walking through a park on the outskirts of Newcastle Football Club. I thought the Saudi ownership would mean that they have a bit more than like this tin shed with what's it say? Price list. Adult ticket, £5. Who knew you could go and see Newcastle Football Club for £5? I think it did say it was Newcastle Blue Star Football Club. Oh, I'm tired.
Looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you, I never could have moved away.
Well, we've left, what was it called? Newburn, We've left Newburn behind, had a lovely bite to eat at Branzino's Italian restaurant. But we've done about another mile since then. We've got about 2.5 miles to go. Our legs are incredibly tired. It's not that the track is particularly challenging or anything like that. It's all fairly well laid out and fairly easy walking. It's just the sheer scale of it, you know. So we've done 12 and a bit miles now, which is a hefty hiking day anyway. So not long till we turn off the river, which we're still ultimately following at the minute, and in about 2.5 miles we should be at Hadrian on the Wall. Doing all right. Good morning, and joining us on day 2. It's a very tentative start to the day, to say the least. The beds were very comfortable in our little cosy Airbnb we've been to. We got so wet through last night that we just got in, relaxed, we went to the pub for a meal, but completely forgot to do anything to say goodnight on the video, but hey ho. Day 2, from Hadrian on the Wall to, well, I've got it down as Erdington Coffee House, but I think, or something like that, but it's actually to something that's called the Portgate, or the Portgate. Portgate, that's Harry Potter, isn't it? Mm-hmm. God, I'm tired this morning. Alexi's got a poorly heel. I've got a poorly and I can't tell you where it is. So we're going to take it very steady today. Day 2, 10 miles. We've chosen a slightly steadier day today. It is up here, isn't it? Or have we got to go further? Have I peaked too soon?
Yeah.
That's not where the swan is it? We've got to go down where the swan is. Where did we come out of? We just came out of our little road, didn't we?
Yeah, was there one more right to take?
No, I don't think so. I think we should have just turned left, but bear with us. Clearly not a good start if we go wrong straight away this morning. Fingers crossed very soon we will just be walking a very, very straight road following the wall. Thank you for joining us. Let's have a look at day 2. Well, our first section of Hadrian's Wall, hidden just down a little snicket way really, in Hadrian on the Wall. We nearly missed it. Here we are, first section of it. It's about 2 meters thick. I don't know how high it would have been originally. I might have to try and find out stuff like that along the way. But it was built round about AD 122, 123. So we're looking at a nearly 2,000-year-old wall. And it's only the first of the stuff that hopefully we're going to see on our adventures. So our first sort of Roman fort site that we found. So you can't see anything here on this one particularly. You see the mound that it may be sat upon. But if the artist's impression's right, it's a huge structure sitting either side of the wall. Alexi's taking pictures of sheep for his app. His app that earlier on told him that a cow was an elephant. He's probably telling him that these sheep are gibbons. We've made it as far as Harlow Hill. Probably about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 miles into the journey. So we've got about 6 to go. Struggling a bit just to pound these miles out, but we're doing okay. A few less injuries, a few less bits of pain. We'll get there. I'm going to a reservoir next. Yeah, last little stretch before the pub. So we've just paused near Mafton Hall. About 3 miles to go. We had a lovely little bite to eat at the Robin Hood Inn. A lovely sandwich and a soup, always a good one. So we've got, yeah, we're splitting up this last 3 miles into about 1 mile sections, just to kind of give ourselves a chance to walk and rest. So we walk for probably about half an hour, rest for 5. I reckon that first day doing 15 miles probably was too much, too fast in one big jump. So we best get cracking to our destination for the evening. We've got a fort along the way, hopefully, if there's any of it left. To be fair, we've seen very little of the wall today, only what we saw in Hedden. But yeah, 3 miles to go. Like and subscribe, please. Right then, I'd highly recommend you definitely get yourself one of these Hadrian's wall maps. It is absolutely fantastic for doing the route. So let's give you a bit of map time for what we did on day 1 and day 2. Alright, so we started off here, right at the very beginning. Wallsend, really easy to get to in the end. There is a metro station, a little underground train station that gets you to Wallsend, and you can walk straight from the Segedunum Fort. I reckon I've probably said that wrong. But the whole of that section, all of the way along the, you got kind of going through some sort of back path through some industrial units, was fairly easy going. I think it was probably around about here we got our first hint that there might be a bit of a rainstorm. I don't know whether that's about right, Alexi, but we decided we were going to chuck on waterproofs, and it ended up like raining for about 30 seconds, and then we were red hot.
Yeah.
But all of this stretch, all the way right through Newcastle, going past all of the bridges, it is very, very easy walking. We powered through it at about 3 miles an hour, 3.1 mile. We were going pretty hefty, although to be fair, I think we paid a bit of a price for it. And then we ended up briefly stopping. Was it around about there?
Yeah, on a bench.
Yeah, just for a little break. So I think we'd probably done all of that stretch right the way to there without a break, with which hindsight was probably stupid, because that's a ridiculous amount of walking. To do almost half a section of map in one stint was probably a bit crazy, and maybe we paid for it as the week's gone on. But we stopped here, really nice level walking all the way along the river. We went through Leamington. We did intend to maybe stop there initially, but we thought actually if we get to Newburn, it'd probably be better for us before that final stretch to heading on a wall, where we stopped and had lunch at Branzino's, a little cafe on the river. An Italian restaurant that was super tasty. I think I had lasagna. Alexi, what did you have? Carbonara, was it?
Yeah, tagliatelle carbonara. Yeah, very nice.
Super pasta to fill us up for. Well, we got there just about as it started to rain. So we timed it pretty well. And then we kept looking out the window thinking, oh, we're going to end up walking in the rain. Or can we try and avoid it? Well, we couldn't. And so for the whole of this stretch, all the way through here, eventually getting to heading on the wall, we were walking in pretty horrendous rain. It was all right here, wasn't it? I think
it was okay.
Was it maybe until we got
picked up at the golf course, which is where the suggested diversion was.
Yeah, so we did get to this point and there was a diversion sign, which I think was suggesting taking us maybe a little bit further along and taking a route out and around here.
Probably.
We ignored it, maybe like idiots, but there was just a big puddle maybe around about here.
Yeah.
But we worked our way up the hill and stopped for our first night stay at a lovely little Airbnb, which, yeah, it's a fantastic little place to stay. Had a meal at the Swan Inn.
Yeah.
And then we thought we were going to make it to a quiz at the 3 Tons as well. They advertised it was a quiz starting at 9 o'clock. But we got there at just before 9 and they were pretty much finishing the quiz. So we were a little disappointed. But fantastic little place to get to. Head on the wall. It was a 15-mile first stint that we did. It was a heck of a day. But we did a big day first, knowing that we would have a much smaller second day. So we started at Headon. We found a little bit of the wall. I think it was in amongst this, just a little back section here. As it took you around the Swan Inn and back round again, there was a little...
Yeah, that looks like it.
Little section of wall there. The very first section of wall that we got to see on the whole of the walk. And it was an absolutely breathtaking moment to finally see that wall. Heading out Headon, following the military road. You have to take a bit of a detour over the main road and then back on to our second section of map. We ignored this little bit. There was no public access across this little bit of field, so it was going to take us all the way around, but we found a little space in the wall that we could get out, walk along the road, and just ignored that bit because there was nothing going on there. So you could have just carried along the road, to be honest. Following the road, and we had a few stops along the way. I think we may have stopped around about Harlow Hill on a bench. We definitely stopped again at Whittledean Reservoir, which is a really nice little place to stop.
Nice views there.
Yeah, beautiful. And we eventually got to the Robin Hood Inn at East Wallhouses, where we stopped and had, I think it was a sandwich and a soup, if memory serves me correct. Maybe a toasted sandwich and a soup. All of this route, I remember as we were walking along, you're kind of walking along a hedge line, still not really seeing any wall at all at this point. But we just kept getting cobwebs in our faces all the time. Whoever was taking the lead was taking the brunt of the cobweb, and the one behind was probably benefiting from it.
I think that was you.
It was probably me taking the brunt of it. I looked a very strange creature when I came out the other side. We detoured around Wallhouses. I don't think we took the road there. I think we just do the detour around. Kept going. It felt like a very long stretch, all of this lot. Even though the route today was only a 10.7 mile day, it did feel tiring, and it shouldn't have done. Maybe with just the after effects of the first day. It says Halton Chester's Fort. I don't think we really saw anything there. And eventually getting to the Portgate and the Errington Coffee House, where we finished day 2. What did we have for dinner?
Steak and ale pies.
Steak and ale pies, yes. Now that was again another place where the timings that they said on the website didn't quite match reality. So they said they were going to serve till 5, but when we got there at 4 o'clock and said, "Oh, can we order some food?" they looked a little bit perplexed. And and like, well, we're closing, and we're like, you're serving until 5, and it even said it on the sign outside the building, didn't it? So
Yeah.
I think they'd have probably had to serve us anyway, but because we were staying, it was all fine, and we ate when they closed up for everybody else. So end of day 2, map time done. So there we have it, day 2 completed. We made it to Errington Coffee House. Quite a challenging 10.7 mile bit. Bodies are a bit broken, but no new injuries to report. We're still currently only on 2 Compede blister plasters between the 2 of us. We've just been looking and forward planning for the next couple of days. Some big hikes in there. So far we've completed about 25 miles of hiking, 26 miles. So we've pretty much done a marathon. We've got about another 27, I think it is, to do the next couple of days. So if you want to see us do those bits, and we are reliably informed that the next few days of hiking get much more picturesque and scenic, because we've seen very little of the wall so far. We only saw a small stretch of wall at Heddon, which was nice to see, but we want to get a bit more wall. So we'll leave Alexi to get his beauty sleep. Thank you for joining me, and stay tuned for the next part of our Hadrian's Wall adventure. Will we make it? Will our bodies give up? You'll have to like and subscribe so you can check out the next few videos. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next one. We're off and recording, Alexi, as well.
Oh.
Alright. Oh, that's a nice thing, isn't it? I walked Hadrian. Well, I haven't yet.